Hey guys, so a viewer had just asked, hey, have you ever done a video about what someone should wear or bring for their loved one for their viewing? Now, even if you're just having an identification viewing prior to cremation, you're gonna wanna maybe bring something special. Like dad would wanna go out in his favorite Detroit Lions sweatshirt, not in a hospital gown. So feel free to bring clothing in for your loved one if they are going to be cremated, especially if you're going to have a viewing. You may want to see them in their clothing. So here are some other tips for you. One is sizing. You may want to always size up, especially if you're going to bring a new outfit and go shopping for them. You may want to bring something that is a little bigger. We can tailor it in around them very easily, but making it larger doesn't always work, even if we cut the back. The chest across that item of clothing is only going to be so big. The room within the armpit and chest area only going to be so big. So we can only do so much. But talk to the funeral director about, hey, do you think we should get something larger? What kind of style should we get? I'm going to repeat that a lot. Ask the funeral director if you have questions. If they've been debilitating a long time, lost a lot of weight, their clothing may be down to a size 4 and they wore a size 14 their whole life. Well, you may need to purchase something for them. We can tailor it in, but it may look a bit sloppy even with that big of a size variation. So each situation is going to be a little different. Second is coverage. If they've been in the hospital, they're going to have a lot of bruising from IVs and things on their arms. Don't bring short sleeve. Make sure it's a long sleeve item. Think about their condition because embalming's not magical. We don't do away with all of those items. We can't make bruising and IV marks go away, but we can put something over rather than cosmetizing the whole arm and you thinking they have too much cosmetics. Just bring a longer shirt. Bring a higher neck. Even just a standard neck is going to be your best bet. A big V-neck may not lay the way it should. You really need to think, you yourself, go ahead and lay down. Take a minute and do it. How does my body lay? Oh, my hips get wider. My whole body gets a little wider. My neck feels a little bigger. And I don't quite look the same. And oh, my necklace keeps sliding up to my neck. It's gravity, guys. My hoopy earrings don't stay hanging like a hoop because of gravity. When you're laying down, things are completely different. So think of that when you're picking for your loved one. So we have to kind of work with necklaces to make them lay the right way. And if you have a V-neck on your shirt, we may have to pull it up higher to cover an incision or just because of where gravity is working with us. Jeans. Jeans are hard to get on, especially if you're bringing us Wranglers. They're not going to fit quite the same. We can tailor them a bit, but if they didn't wear them very recently, size up, especially with jeans. Shoes. You don't have to bring shoes. If it's a closed the foot end of the casket is closed, only you are going to know if the shoes are there. Cowboy boots. These are hard to put on when you're alive, right? They're tight. You got to get your foot at just the right angle. Imagine having to do this with someone who doesn't work with you. You're trying to get them on a foot that doesn't bend. It doesn't do what you're asking it to do. So the easiest way for us to do cowboy boots is to slit the back and then slide them on. But if you want to keep the cowboy boots, what I recommend is just setting them out next to the casket on display and then keeping them after. Same with military uniform. If you're bringing us a military uniform of someone who is when they were 22 and they're now like 80, 90 years old, probably not going to work. That's not the same body. They may have gained a lot of weight. They may actually be a bit taller. Their weight is in different areas. Doesn't always work. Might be better to display it, especially if you want to keep it. Riding leathers, same thing. If you want to keep that vest, if you want to keep those special items, I would display them rather than put them on your loved one. If they're for sure getting buried in them, then let the funeral home know that because they may have to slit up the back to make it large enough to be able to maneuver it on the deceased. Cutting clothing, I was shown this a long time ago. Several times I had a funeral director have me dress the person with the clothing not cut, take it back off, cut it, and put it back on. Every single time looked way better because you can manipulate it so much better. And because things like a dress shirt is going to pull across the chest here, even if it's their size, but if it's cut, it releases some of that stress on the shirt from the back and you can lay it nicer. I'm a big fan of cutting clothing. Everybody can have their opinion, but I've seen the difference it makes. Convey if you want it back though. That is a huge thing. And ask the funeral director what you may need. Do I need long sleeves? Do I not? Biggest one. Yes, you need pants. Yes, you need something on the bottom. The casket comes down about the groin. And if the person's shorter, it comes down about their mid-thigh even. It does not come at their waist, so you need bottoms. Skirt, pants, whatever it may be, dress, we need bottoms. No salacious viewing at the funeral home. So biggest thing, communicate. Biggest thing, decide if you want it back and make sure to convey that ahead of time and have a discussion with the funeral home. It's the biggest thing.